Alright folks, welcome back to the dawn of world sports. I am the Donfather and I'm now going to be doing a reaction video to 7 NHL players who played through major injuries, playing through pain, and this one is at the request of a special patron of ours called Thoms. Thanks very much for your support, mate. I really appreciate you being a patron of the channel. It really does help. And the reason why he gets these requests and shout outs is, of course, as I've already mentioned, because he's a patron of the channel. If that's something you'd like as well, check out the description section below for a link to our Patreon account. Thank you very much. Basically the video says it all in the title, what I'm expecting to see. Players that have just, grit their teeth and played through the pain barrier for the team. Because, you know what, they're superstars, they're legends. People that can do things like that there, put their bodies on the line, sacrifice themselves in some respects for the ultimate goal for the team. And for the team to win or prosper, to succeed. Anyway, I'm not going to do too much talking. I do believe that there's maybe a little bit of description to this video, so you might see me a little bit of camera on this one so you can hear what they're actually saying in the commentary as well. But also, on that note, if I am talking over anything and you've missed it and you want to watch the video, I will put the link to the original video in the description section below. Thanks very much. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a few thumbs up. Thanks very much. No more talking then. Let's go.
The game of hockey is an extremely physical sport. Night in and night out, players put their body on the line by blocking shots, taking hits, receiving slashes, and of course, fighting. In fact, ESPN released a study on the most difficult sports in the world. And this study was conducted by a group of sports scientists and members of the Olympic Committee. And what they found is that hockey is the second most difficult sport in the world, right behind boxing. And this is because hockey players are required to be extremely proficient in all areas of athleticism. Strength, power, endurance, durability, agility, all need to be strong traits for an NHL player to be successful. Now, I'm not saying that other sports don't require these traits, but the fact that hockey has the added element of ice and skates is a completely different story.
Very true.
Players get destroyed by open ice hits, but they're also getting blown up going over 40 kilometers an hour. And for Americans, that's roughly 25 miles per hour.
25 miles per hour.
Because of this physical nature, hockey players tend to get injured a lot. In fact, many players, if not every single player in the NHL, plays through an injury at one point at any given season, major or minor. In today's video, we're going to go over 7 players who played through major injuries. And comment down below if you feel like I missed out on any crazy examples, or just comment down below which one you find the craziest. And make sure to press subscribe for some more awesome content. And on a side note, I finally made my Twitter account.
You might have missed something,
hundreds of comments since the inception of this channel, so toss me a follow. Link is in the description. Let's get right into this video. The date is May 25th, 2017. The Senators and Penguins were in a Game 7 double overtime situation. The winner advances to the Stanley Cup Finals. Erik Karlsson is carrying the Senators on his shoulders like a kid on his dad's shoulders trying to watch a parade. He leads the team in points and is consistently playing over 30 minutes per game. However, Chris Kunitz scores the double OT winner and the Penguins end up winning the Stanley Cup this year. And then the news finally comes out. Erik Karlsson played 6 games with 2 fractured feet and damaged ankle tendons. Now, a fractured ankle is classified as a broken bone. And Erik Karlsson managed to break both of his feet. And he still led the Senators to a Game 7 Eastern Conference Finals. Now come on, we've seen broken feet literally end player seasons.
In his ankles.
And Erik Karlsson played 6 games on 2 broken feet. Are you kidding me? And whether there's a correlation or not, Erik Karlsson has been in and out of the lineup missing lots of games ever since. And this type of scenario is a prime example of how playing through injuries may cause long-term issues. Next, we have Jonathan Quick suffering a herniated disc. Flashback to the 2012 Stanley Cup playoffs. Jonathan Quick was at the peak of his career. He had a monster season registering career highs in every single major category. And in the 2012 playoffs, Quick was on another level, as he registered an astounding .946 save percentage. You heard that correctly. In all of the 2012 playoffs, Jonathan Quick registered a .946 save percentage. Just crazy. And Jonathan Quick took home the Conn Smythe Trophy and lifted the Stanley Cup for the first time in his career. And shortly after the Stanley Cup win, it was released that Jonathan Quick was suffering from a herniated disc throughout this playoff run. And for
Fuck
those of
me.
you who aren't familiar with what a herniated disc is, it occurs on the spine, usually on the lower back region, and they can be extremely painful. And on top of this, they can cause your feet and legs to go numb. So now, this can be especially problematic when you're a goaltender, and most players go out of commission for up to 2 months after surgery. Now, when you put this in the context of Jonathan Quick, he had a prolific performance and won the Conn Smythe Trophy. Just
There
crazy.
you go, man.
Next, we have the insane story
Absolute
of
legend.
Patrice Bergeron. During the 2013 Stanley Cup Finals, the Boston Bruins found themselves in an elimination Game 6 against the Chicago Blackhawks. This entire series was extremely close. Game 1 went to triple overtime, so nearly 2 full games, where Patrice Bergeron played just shy of 34 minutes in one game. However, this Chicago team had far too many weapons for the Bruins to handle, and the Hawks won in 6. And shortly after the series, it was released that Patrice Bergeron, being the warrior that he is, was playing with a broken rib, torn cartilage, muscle damage, a separated shoulder, and that's not all. It is believed that when they were trying to repair his broken rib, a doctor mistakenly punctured his lung. So to add to this long list of injuries, Patrice Bergeron was also suffering from a collapsed lung. If this
Somewhere
isn't
in
what
between
makes hockey great
little
as a
luck
sport,
and no luck.
I'm not sure what does. To see this level of pride in prioritizing the team over yourself, it's just
Brilliant.
extremely respectable. Next, we have Jumbo Joe Thornton playing with a torn ACL and MCL, and this one hits close to home. If you guys didn't know, I sustained the same injury in hockey. I tore my ACL, my MCL, my meniscus, which led to many complications and knee reconstructive surgery. So this one is really just inconceivable to me. During the 2017 Stanley Cup playoffs, Joe Thornton and the San Jose Sharks were
How
matched
did they
up
get the
against Connor
power
McDavid and the
and the
Edmonton
speed
Oilers.
to
And
do
at this
the
point,
job?
the Sharks felt as if they had a serious shot at competing for the cup. So they're willing to put it all on the line to win. However, the Sharks were eliminated in 6, and later it came out that a 37-year-old Joe Thornton played this series with a torn ACL and MCL. And ACL injuries have up to 10 months of a recovery timeline, and for good reason. A torn ACL can feel like your leg from the knee down is just floating. Again, I've experienced this many times. It's not a fun feeling. And Joe Thornton played 4 games like this. After I tore my ACL, I couldn't even walk, let alone playing in an NHL playoff series. Next, we have Steven Stamkos, who received a Johnny Boychuk point shot straight to the face. In the 2011 Eastern Conference Finals, a Game 7 situation against the Boston Bruins, Steven Stamkos blocks the slap shot from the point and hits him directly in the face.
Holy
Stamkos is rushed
fuck.
off the ice with a face full
What
of
a
blood
slap
and
that
a
was.
broken nose. However, after a short time, Stamkos emerges from out of the dressing room with a cage on his face, and he is ready to keep playing. What other sport in the world can someone take a puck, probably going 85 miles per hour, to the face, resulting in a shattered nose, and the player refuses to leave the game? Guys, if you want to take away anything from this video, just know that the game of hockey is amazing. Next, we have a more recent story of Zdeno Chara from last year's Stanley Cup playoffs. During the 2019 Stanley Cup Finals, Brayden Schenn launched a wrist shot on net, and it ramps up Zdeno Chara's stick and hits him right in the face. Chara fell straight to the ground and was rushed off the ice. Well, it was soon
He's a
realized that
big
Chara
guy
actually
as well,
broke his
Chara.
jaw in multiple places, and he had wires and plates holding his face together. Chara wasn't even able to consume solid food, but regardless, Chara tossed on an assisted cage and played the remainder of the Stanley Cup playoffs with a broken jaw. Next, with the notorious case of Paul Kariya, and this one
That's
was
mental,
an
really.
eye-opening injury that has really been the precedent to changing safety of hockey. In the 2003 Stanley Cup Finals, Paul Kariya and the Mighty Ducks were matched up against the New Jersey Devils. And in this game, Paul Kariya would receive the infamous blindside
what
hit
the
from
heck?
Scott Stevens.
Fucking
And this
hell,
game
Scott
resulted
Stevens
in
is
Kariya being passed out on
absolutely
ice for nearly a minute. And back then, the concussion protocol
annihilated
didn't
him.
exist. So Kariya returned to the game after a short trip to the dressing room. And the crazy thing is that Paul Kariya would soon score the game-winning goal in a prolific manner. Now, sadly, the Mighty Ducks would lose in Game 7, but the Scott Stevens hit on Paul Kariya has been a defining NHL moment in the advancement of concussion safety. Because many years later, it was released that Paul Kariya had no memory of playing this entire game because of the concussion he sustained. Now, many players today aren't too happy with our current concussion protocol system, but the long-term effects of a concussion are just not worth winning a game. Because sadly, this concussion would serve as the demise to Paul Kariya's career. Because for the rest of his time in the league, Paul Kariya would be in and out of the lineup dealing with concussions, and he was just never the same player. Lastly, we have Nick Bonino, who played with a broken leg. Are you kidding me? In Game 2 of the 2017 Stanley Cup Finals, the Pittsburgh Penguins were matched up against the Nashville Predators, and during the first period, Nick Bonino would block a slap shot from who else?
Seen that
but
one.
PK Subban. And Nick Bonino was of course rushed to the locker room, but he ended up returning in the same period, and that's not all. He ended up playing 16 minutes this game. However, after getting his leg scanned, it was revealed that Nick Bonino broke his leg. Nick Bonino played on a broken leg in a full Stanley Cup playoffs game. A broken fibula, which is what Bonino sustained, usually has a 3-month recovery timeline. We just saw Dougie Hamilton break his this past season, and he was done for the entire season. And the fact that Nick Bonino played over 2 periods on a broken leg is just insane. Now, of course, Bonino would not be allowed to return to the lineup, but the Penguins would go on to win back-to-back Stanley Cup championships, and of course, Bonino would suit up and lift a cup for the second time in his career. The sheer amount of pain and suffering an NHL player goes through is honestly astounding. There is a reason why hockey players are known to be the toughest competitors in the world of sports. We have hockey players throughout any given season continually take slap shots to the face. They are literally losing teeth, but they don't let it faze them. Not to mention even NHL coaches who get deflected pucks to the face. And even though this game of hockey is shifting towards that more skill-based game, what isn't going away is NHL toughness. Anyways guys, can you name a time a player played through a serious injury? I'm sure I missed many infamous cases, so definitely comment down below if you feel like I missed anything. And make sure to press subscribe for some more awesome hockey content. On a side note guys, I'm sorry for my lack of videos recently. I think this video will go up this Friday. I'm currently super busy at school. I'm in finals, I've been busy at work. So it's been a very difficult past couple weeks, and I'm sure you guys are feeling the same thing. But regardless, I hope you guys are enjoying the content. Your support makes the situation so much easier. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day.
I've not actually watched any of his videos before, that guy, so pretty good content. He's done a bit of homework there. He's picked what he thought was probably one of the best examples. 7 players who played through major injuries. Even the one where he's got the disc in his back. Can you imagine this goalkeeper having to move and be flexible and be low and then spring up? You're kind of doing that all through the back, so that's difficult enough. Obviously the boy that's took the puck, fucking guess the speed. Who knows the speed? Slap shot straight to the face and played on the rest of the game. What a headshot that is, but it shows you how tough he was. He was just like, nose it shattered, who gives a fuck? I'm going back out there. My game is not done. But the most extreme one was your last example there, the Penguins player who's played through the broken leg. I actually seen that in another video where he was still skating around and you were wondering what the hell was going on. I actually thought they had rewound the incident to show you where his leg actually got broke, because it was quite difficult to see. But that was them fast forwarding the footage to show you how long he stayed on the ice trying to stop, because it was a bit of a power play going on or something. But they're tough cookies, these NHL players. And I agree with the thing with the concussions. At the end of the day, a player might want to play on and the fans might want them to keep playing on at that particular time. But when you get a serious head collision or a head knock or a big hit to the body that's led to the whiplash effect, which causes the brain to shake inside the skull, and the skull hits, or the brain hits the skull, and it can cause brain injury such as concussion. It's very, very dangerous, particularly the type of sport that you're playing, hockey, where you're prone to bigger hits. It's played at a fast pace, they're on skates, they're on ice, so they're going to be moving that little bit quicker than other sports, and there is scope for being allowed to hit each other, and sometimes people will do it quite cheekily as well. So it can be a very, very, very dangerous sport. So the risk for further injury to someone who's already had concussion, the negative can almost outweigh the pros there, can't it, if you think of it? Because the last thing you want to see is somebody's life later on being difficult to live because of injuries they've endured during hockey. Too many head knocks, and it's led them to whatever difficulties they may face later on in life. And as he said in the video there, that guy was never really the same again. I don't know if he took more concussions or if it was just after that major concussion, any head knock after that they were really concerned about. So obviously players' health and safety is absolutely paramount, and you've got to put that first but I can understand anybody who's like, oh, look at him, he's playing through the pain barrier. It is an absolutely selfless thing that these players are doing, but in the long-term effect of like cruciate ligaments, I would be concerned if I was a coach or a physio or a doctor or any of these people that were experts. Right, we know that there's a cruciate ligament or potential cruciate ligament damage to his knee or whatever, there's something wrong inside his ankle. I'd say, look, right, we might need him at this particular moment, but we need to get him off because we're more concerned about getting him back on the ice as soon as possible. And the more he plays on that and aggravates that injury, and I understand the bravery of some of these guys, they're hard bastards, you know what I mean, tough cookies, but sometimes somebody's got to make that decision to say, no, you're coming off for the greater good, because you don't want to aggravate and cause further serious injury to what is already happening there. So really good video, quite interesting as well to see some of them, but all of it just highlights just how tough a sport hockey is and how tough the players are that play it. An incredible game, incredible stories. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget the link to the original video will be in the description section below. Thanks very much goes to our patron Nathan Thoms. We really appreciate your support, mate. Big thumbs up to you. I hope you enjoyed the video and the reaction. A little bit of a review as always at the end. If anybody else would like that same sort of thing or get the request and a shout out, check out our Patreon, as I've said at the very start of the video, in the description section below, and all of our social media platforms will be there as well. And if you're not interested in signing up to any monthly payments, we do have a donation page. It's called Donate, and it's Get Us to Oz, which is going to be our first vlogging trip as a channel down under. Thanks very much everyone. I am the Donfather. Peace and goodbye.